My bitter mom and sister hate me because I refuse to get back with my ex, and my family wants me to reconcile, but I'm now expecting a baby with my dream man. I started dating my brother's best friend when I was 16. We were together until I graduated high school, at which point he proposed, and I rejected it. There was a lot of drama, with my family asking me to reconsider because we could have a long engagement or make a promise to reconcile. My relationship with my brother, 36 meters, suffered for a while, but the one with my sister, 32 feet, never recovered. She was sure my ex was the best fit for me and became unbearable when she started dating my ex's brother. My ex was invited everywhere by my siblings, even to some family holidays, but I didn't say anything since he was their friend too. That is, until my sister started to push for us to get back together. My sister did everything from trying to set us up on blind dates to making us share a room during holidays. No matter the occasion, my ex was invited. After a while, I had enough and asked my parents to intervene. They were clear with my siblings and stopped inviting my ex to things or allowing him to tag along so much. It was slightly better, but while my brother backed off, my sister didn't. It all came to a head when I met my husband during a semester abroad. He was from another university but the same country, and we just clicked. It was magical for me, and we got engaged after dating for a year. My family was very happy for me, except for my sister. She kept insisting I was in the honeymoon phase and would grow out of it. I clearly didn't, and after many, I can't express enough how many, fights and attempts to reunite me with my ex, I simply let her know if she pulled anything again, I would stop talking to her. What did she do after that warning? She made me her maid of honor and requested that I spend all my time with the bridal party, which included my ex, and she set one of her friends as my husband's date. We didn't realize until we were at the reception and the poor girl tried to make a pass at my husband. My sister said that since we were not married, it was okay to explore things with other people. I left the party and the next day spoke with my parents and brother, explaining that while I wouldn't make them choose, I would not talk to my sister ever again, and if they tried to fix things between us, I would simply cut contact with them too. My mom was devastated and tried to negotiate, but my dad and brother said they would respect my decision. Apart from 2 attempts from my mom, I haven't spoken, written, or anything with my sister in the past 6 years. My sister has tried everything to reconcile with me, from gifts to tantrums, but I simply don't talk to her at all. If we are at a family event or dinner, I simply act like she doesn't exist. At first, she made snarky comments or tried to create drama, but since nobody backed her up, she gave up. She did have a meltdown when she was informed she was invited to my wedding but would not be part of any preparation. My brother says he feels guilty for going along with it for so long, and his relationship with my ex has suffered since. They still talk, but they are not as close anymore. The issue: my mom's birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and I finally announced we are expecting our first child. This is not the first grandchild, but it is the first granddaughter. Everybody was very happy except my sister. My mom noted that and asked me for tea the other day. My sixth sense told me not to go, but I wanted to be positive. The first thing I noticed when I arrived was my sister's car. Then, as I entered the door, there was my sister, her husband, my ex, and my ex-mother-in-law. They wanted to have an intervention since my childish tactic had gone on for too long. My ex said that he was just trying to be romantic, but he understood I couldn't appreciate it. His mom said I was just hurting my sister, who only wanted the best for me, and she had already apologized, so I needed to forgive her. I was just sending texts to my family, dad, brother, husband, and looking at my mom in disbelief. My brother-in-law had the nerve to tell me I was a hurtful person and needed to learn how to act like an adult since I was having a baby. Then my mom began reading a letter about how hurt she was that her daughters weren't close, how my sister was wrong but well-intentioned. Then my sister read her letter and began crying and telling me essentially another version of what the rest did. I said nothing to anybody, just sat there until my brother arrived. He was angrier than I've ever seen before. He grabbed my stuff and told them all he was really disappointed and disgusted. We went outside and sat in his car until my dad and husband arrived. By then, I was just sobbing and he kept saying sorry. I am unsure what happened in there, but I sent everybody, except Mom, an email with my lawyer's contact info attached and stated I don't wish to be contacted by any of them ever again, and if they did, I would go to the police. Nobody has contacted me, but I know from my dad that my mom and sister are hysterical. They told him they hope to repair things and for my sister to be able to be in my baby's life, maybe even be the godmother. My dad is staying with my brother at the moment. They support me, but some others in the family don't. I've even had mutual friends call me since they are worried about my sister's well-being and asking me what happened since she is now saying my husband is keeping me away from my family. I hate having my business in public, but I did go the public route and posted a long Facebook post about everything that happened. My sister, brother-in-law, and ex are being dragged, which, even if it wasn't 100% intended, I feel is deserved. Now, my mom has been inconsolable, which does make me feel bad, but not as bad as she made me feel with her little intervention. I agreed to have a talk with her a couple of days ago and laid the ground rules for any possible future interaction, including therapy, family therapy, clear boundaries, no sharing information about me with my sister, and separate holidays. Most importantly, if she ever pulls anything like this again, she will be cut off for sure. She feels this is too much but is willing to do it. She thought it meant immediate access to baby news and that it was all solved, but I told her it is a process and she needs to prove she has improved. My dad and brother refused to talk to my sister and they keep apologizing for not stopping it earlier. We've forgiven them since they were able to move on and grow. My husband supports whatever I decide, but my mother-in-law is unsure if cutting my mom's access to her granddaughter is the way to go but says it is ultimately my decision. I'm torn about what to do with my mom. What do you think I should do? Update 1. I want to thank you for the amount of support and advice so far, and so I better give a little more info to the story. My ex and I broke up when I was 18, he is 37 now. The reason for our breakup was that I didn't want to get married or engaged. My sister's insistence comes from the fixation on wanting both of us to marry brothers and be best friends. My mom has always been nice to my husband, but I am beginning to think it was all a facade, which makes me very sad. My ex has been with other people since the breakup. He also has 2 kids with an ex but has never been married. My sister says that is a very romantic thing to do since he has only ever wanted to marry me. I should also mention his obsessive behavior is not only with me. I know from the grapevine he was very similar with the mother of his children, but now he is refocusing on me because my sister is encouraging it since she needs his help on getting back in my good graces so she can be a good aunt. My brother did start to cut him off when I told my parents I was very uncomfortable with my ex being around all the time. I was living away for college but would visit my family during breaks. He also made a big effort to make my husband feel welcome, which deteriorated his relationship with my ex even more because my ex felt betrayed by my brother. Nowadays, my husband is one of my brother's closest friends and he only speaks with my ex when it is about our nephew, sister's son, or to not be rude. Both my parents seem to be supportive of me not wanting to be around my ex so much, but I guess only my dad was in agreement. On the day of the tea party, my mom told him she was making me my favorite tea and sweets, but he couldn't stay since we would have quality time together. My dad left to go hang out with my uncle since he thought it was a nice sentiment from my mom. He is very pissed off. My husband tried very hard with my sister when they met, but now he just ignores her and believes she is mentally unwell. We don't know if she is or not, still, there is no excuse for how she behaves. They invited the ex and his mom because they thought it would be good for me to face the root of my issues with my sister, or at least that is their official version. Also, we are not Indian, not very religious, and my husband and I are from the same race. There is also no wealth disparity between my ex and my husband. If there is, it would be in favor of my husband. Lastly, my sisters-in-law are enraged about the situation. My husband and his sisters will be talking with their mom about her comment. My brother and his wife are considering going no contact with my mom permanently. In the meantime, they will not allow her to see my nephews for a bit. I think I might have to go no contact with my mom for the sake of my kid. My husband is heartbroken to think all their interactions were fake but says he is even more enraged that she made me cry and doubt that I was a good person. I realize there are still countless conversations to have with my family about my mom, but I will definitely be seeking a restraining order against my sister and the ex. Anyway, onto the update. The state of my family so far. I had a conversation with my mother, but she insists she knew best. I am a bad person, and she will be seeking grandparents' rights or even custody. I'm nothing like what she says, but I still panicked, so we sent her a letter about it. My dad moved out permanently. He told her that he could not stand by her terrorizing his kid. My brother and his wife also decided to go no contact. I know it seems very sudden, but I think I undersold the level of despair I had after the intervention. My husband told them afterward that they had to think very well about what they appreciated and to be kind and receptive to everything but would not raise a kid in a toxic environment. Reason 3,271,637 Why I love my husband. My husband is very heartbroken about my mom and her fakeness. He says she will never get anything from him. That is as much as revenge goes here. My husband and sisters talked to my mother-in-law about her comment and made her understand why it was very inappropriate. As many of you assumed, she is a very loving mom, from a loving family. My dad and brother keep apologizing for any role they played in this. My dad can't believe it went to this point. He says it is still surreal for him. Regardless, they support me no matter what and say they are willing to help me fight whatever ridiculous fight my mom or sister puts up. Thanks everyone. Update 2. Things are both great and horrible right now, but I am trying to remain positive. My brother and his wife sat my nephews down and explained that Grandma tried to hurt Auntie Diamond and the new baby. They explained grandma wouldn't be part of their lives anymore, but that didn't mean she didn't love them. It was really hard, but the kids are smart. They were also told the other aunt was no longer in their lives, but they don't care much about her since they never liked her. My mom lost it when she was informed and started claiming she had rights and would get to see her grandchildren. My dad is looking for a permanent place but will stay with us until January, mainly because my brother's mother-in-law is visiting, and we have the space. He is really sad and has already contacted divorce lawyers, moved bank stuff, the lot. He has been getting countless emails, messages, and calls from my mom, but he doesn't reply to anything. The lawyer told him not to block her right now. He considered maybe forgiving her, until I had a huge spike in blood pressure a couple of days after my last update because she came to my place with my sister. My sister had never been to my home, and my mom knew I didn't want her there. The cleaning lady let them in since she knows my mom, and I hadn't informed her they were not allowed in anymore. I saw the car when I came back from some errands, so I didn't go in. I called all of my relatives, and my sister-in-law, husband's sister, was the closest. She confronted them and told them to leave, or I would call the police for trespassing. They left, but I started feeling bad, so we went to the doctor. They told me all the excitement was not good and I needed to relax or it would hurt the baby. My dad went home with my brother, uncle, and husband and took every single thing he could think of. My husband says my sister kept screaming at him that he destroyed her family. My dad told my mom and sister they almost killed the baby and he also doesn't want to talk to them again. My sister kept sending messages to my brother, begging for help, but it's not happening. I am devastated and very sad for my nephew since he is losing so much of his family because his mother has some wacky ideas, but it is what it is. Regarding the custody and grandparents' rights my mom keeps talking about, my lawyer sent her a letter stating she caused harm to my health and the baby and if she keeps harassing me, it will become an official legal matter. My brother also sent her a letter regarding her harassment of me. Both my mom and sister have refused to go to therapy. They might be mentally ill, but with all of this coming to light, it is obvious they have been in agreement for a long time. Update 3. Some people ask what method we used to know the baby's gender. I announced it after 20 weeks. We waited so long because we had experienced a loss in the past, which we were preparing to announce when it happened, and we wanted to be sure this time. Also, we were naive enough to think it would be special for my mom. After posting, we checked the house and, thankfully, found nothing but still felt unsafe, so we went to a hotel with my dad. We then realized there was a tracker on my dog's vest. He's a small dog and gets cold easily, so he has a vest. We discovered the tracker when my dad walked him around the hotel and my sister came and asked him about me. I was really upset, so we decided to move. Thankfully, we can afford it. We are renting at the moment and also renting out our place so it's not empty. I used to love that house, but now it feels ruined. Sadly, my parents' house feels the same way. We all, brother, husband, dad, sister-in-law, and even my husband's family, changed our numbers, got new electronics, and notified employers, friends, and the police. We also started therapy and family therapy. My dad and brother feel extreme guilt over the situation, even though I have truly forgiven them. My sister and mom insist they are not wrong and don't need therapy. My dad made a new will in which my sister's son gets a trust fund and some inheritance, but my sister gets a token amount. He is truly done with her. I felt bad for her, but I decided to focus my energy on my baby. She is here, and we are blessed. It's not the experience I envisioned since my mom is not around anymore, but so many friends and family members have truly surprised us. By the end, we were so paranoid we started testing some people we were unsure of by telling them I was going into labor. It worked like a charm. We discovered who was still feeding information to my mom and sister and cut them out. The rest understood when we explained the reasoning. My ex, Bates, went around saying the baby was his because we'd been having a torrid affair due to my undying love for him. Nobody believes him anymore, but it made my husband contact Bates' employer and tell them about all the craziness. Long story short, he was put on suspension pending an internal review. I am almost positive he will be fired since they have asked us for more information and seem really apologetic. My mom has tried to find us, but all the people who know our location have gone no contact with her. My dad's lawyer sent her a letter stating that due to her instability, all correspondence will be through lawyers now. My dad has been the best babysitter, feeder, and diaper changer in the universe. My nephews are loving as always, and my dad even got a visit with my sister's son. It came about because she kept making videos threatening to bonk herself if my husband didn't stop alienating her family. My dad emailed her about seeing her son and told her he would call the police about her threats, so that seems to have stopped. Lastly, someone suggested I gave Bates false hope. That couldn't be further from the truth. I spent years uncomfortable because I thought he would move on. After I spoke up and met my husband, I spent a long time fighting my sister about it. I had a long engagement, which is why I married after my sister. I still love my mom and sister, but I choose a healthy life for me and my family over that love. I have discovered a lot of loyalty, love, and compassion through this whole thing. As strange as it may seem, I feel lucky it all exploded. Hopefully, this isn't much of a ramble. Big hugs from me. Update 4. We officially moved into a new house, and my dad moved into the guest house. After many discussions both in and out of therapy, we decided that while it would be good for him to be with us, we all still need our space. We are still renting out the old place and will decide what to do with it later. My dad now has the grandchildren together about 3 times a week. He still sees my sister's kid separately since she won't let him take the kid unless she knows where he lives. This is fair, but considering her instability, we don't want her close. My mom complained to the lawyers about how unfair it is that my dad still gets to see all the grandchildren, but there is nothing she can do about it. About a month ago, my dad confessed he pays for my nephew's, sister's kid, schooling and babysitting, which is why she still allows him to see him. He felt guilty for hiding it, but I assured him it was fine and to please not feel bad. On Mother's Day, my dad got an email with a link to an Instagram account that featured a sad video about my mom and how most of her family has abandoned her, portraying my sister as a saint for being there for her. It was really pathetic and enraged me, but I just sent it to the lawyer. Dad officially filed for divorce in May, and the process is ongoing. My mom insists he is wrong, but my dad said he'd rather drink bleach than go back to her, so I think that is final. My brother and husband took my dad out for Father's Day, and they had a blast. My sister posted many things that day, but they managed to block my dad from seeing it so he could enjoy the day. They also did a camping trip with the kids by going to a hotel, getting a suite, and putting a tent in the middle area for the kids and a little teepee for the baby. Honestly, having the baby is one of the best things that have happened to me, and seeing my husband being the amazing father I knew he would be makes me so happy. It is tiring, but we have so much support. I feel grateful beyond anything because I have my rocks on my side. My sister's in-law and I now share a calendar to ensure the kids do age-appropriate activities and hang out with people they like. They are all obsessed with the baby and call themselves her protectors. Family time is now a pleasure and not a headache without my sister there. She just sucks the positivity out of the room. My mother-in-law loves spending time with the baby and stays in the guest room about once a week. She asked politely and said she didn't want to take the baby for sleepovers. I feel respected and heard by her and have sometimes broken down because I miss my mom a lot. The mom I thought I had, not the one who told me I would be a terrible mother. My therapist says it's a marathon and to focus on the good. Speaking of good, Bates was terminated, and his reputation in his industry was not only damaged but nuked. His brother's reputation also took a hit, but since my brother-in-law is not in an industry that cares as much about reputation, he still has his job as far as I know. Bates sent me a 12-page, double-sided, single-spaced letter about how hurt he is that I am denying him what's his and that my husband destroyed him professionally because he couldn't destroy anything else. I didn't read it, my lawyer did and gave me a summary. From the grapevine, I heard that Bates' children's mother moved, and he didn't care, saying it was for the best. This man doesn't even care about his kids and wants to play family with my baby and me. Sadly, he won't be homeless because his mother already let him move back in with her. Not the flashiest of updates, but just what is. Oh, and my husband burned or donated every single item given to him by my mom or my parents with my dad's blessing. He says life is too short to give her space in his life, even with memories. Update 5. Long time no see, but here's the final update, 2 years later. My parents are divorced now, after many fights and tantrums from my mother. She kept the house and got a bulk payment, but that's it. My dad is like a new man, and we are all so happy for him. A little throwback, when all the drama happened, we did not fire our cleaning lady. This is a woman who had been helping my husband's family for decades, and I was very stressed about her being out of work because of what my crazy family did. We are not slobs, and she is not polishing floors on her knees or anything like that. My dad spoke with her and told her she was on paid vacation until we had a new house. She was thrilled about it and so was her family. My dad started to get food and stuff from them from time to time because they were so thankful for what he was doing for them. Well, she has a sister who owns her own nail salon, and my dad is dating her now. She is a very lovely woman with grown children, so she understands the dynamics happening sometimes. He has been very clear he is not moving or marrying, and she is pleased with that because she likes her independence. My mother nearly had a stroke when she heard about his new relationship and kept saying it was a late midlife crisis and he had to resort to being a sugar daddy. This is obviously what I heard because I don't have any contact with her. Last I heard, she is struggling because she was never good at budgeting and relied on my dad to stop ridiculous purchases. My sister is also struggling because my dad is not helping her with money anymore. My dad was willing to keep helping for the sake of my nephew, but then things got very rough. My nephew started calling my kid an affair baby, saying she is not with her real dad, and called my other nephews delusional. During a birthday party, he even pushed one of my husband's nephews, saying they were not my kid's cousins, only he was. The kids were perplexed and confused but immediately told an adult about it. My dad spoke with him, but he kept repeating it. My dad spoke with my sister, and she said she could do nothing to prevent a kid from telling the truth. He told her that until there is a change, he is cutting them off. She panicked and cried, but she is also super stubborn, so now my nephew goes to public school because my husband made my dad cut them off. Bates is still unemployed. He was in an industry related to vulnerable women, some of it related to stalking. Ironic, right? That's why he was fired. The organization didn't want this to splash on them. I have received 2 more very long handwritten rambling letters from him. Since he only has my lawyer's address, my lawyer has the honor of receiving, reading, and filing those ramblings. I love my lawyer, he is a champ. Apart from that and the gossip, I have not had bad issues related to him except for one. I was at the grocery store, and a random woman came over to ask if my kid was Bates' baby. I was speechless and shocked. I asked her what she was on, and she said he has a photo of us on his profile and I should be ashamed of myself for hurting such a good man. Turns out he is still going by the narrative my kid is his and I loved him so much. That is all old news, but what shocked me the most was the picture comment. This is not a photo that has been public or anything like that, it was sent to a family group once and that is it. I told my husband immediately, and he was enraged but composed. We decided to smoke out the rat. Long story short, it was my dad's 2 sisters feeding info to my mom. My dad was so disappointed but also had no doubts about cutting them off. They are still begging him to talk to them again. My brother and his family are doing great. We see them a lot and have been on some family holidays since the last update. They are also no contact with my mom and sister. My sister-in-law is actually super happy about it because it turns out she was not a fan of our mom but kept the peace. My in-laws keep being lovely as well. We allow Mill overnight babysitting now too, and she is over the moon about it. Sometimes she has all her grandchildren under the same roof, and they are all delighted to be with her. She is a former flight attendant, so their favorite game is to pretend airplane. Overall, they love her, and we know she is good with our kid, so we don't worry. She had to make her socials private because my mom kept stalking her. I'm sure my mom is extremely jealous, but she made her own bed. Lastly, my husband keeps me sane whenever little things come up. We are thinking about whether we should have another baby or maybe adopt one. We are still undecided. We have a great support system and the privilege to have these conversations. I still miss my mom a lot, and sometimes I cry when I realize there are milestones I can no longer share with her, but she is a bad person and the safety of my family matters more. Last fun fact, this Father's Day, they actually went camping. It went great apart from the mosquito bites and some ill-placed sunburns. I love you all, thank you so much for all of the support.